Welcome to the library. Happy to have you here on this Monday evening. My name is Lauren Gramley. I am the business specialist here at the library. I don't know if you guys are aware, we have a lot of great resources here for small business owners, for nonprofits. We have lots of great databases where you can do all sorts of market research. We have tools for writing a business plan. You can do a one-on-one with me, the business specialist. I'll talk to you about any element of your business, whether you're starting it, you're growing it, or a nonprofit. But probably my favorite thing is that we do amazing free workshops here in partnership with local experts here in this community. So I am very pleased tonight to introduce our presenter, Mark Wolters. So for those of you who are not aware, so Professor Mark Wolters is an award-winning business educator from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign's Gies College of Business. Having been recognized by Poets and Quants as one of the top 50 undergraduate business professors, as well as receiving numerous other teaching awards, Professor Wolters strives to make marketing and social media education accessible to all via his Professor Wolters YouTube channel. You may have seen him on his successful Wolters World Travel and Culture YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers and 275 million views and growing. His talk on social media marketing is a wonderful introduction to how social media can help small businesses grow. So I'd like to welcome Professor Mark Wolters.
Thank you. Thank you. So one of the things what I want to do today is basically give you some of the insights for small businesses in terms of what social media can do for you and what it can't do for you, and some of the hiccups I see small businesses have when they're trying to implement social media. Because I know as a small business, sometimes your small business, it's you, right? And you take it so personal. What you have to realize is separating yourself and your social media from your business and professionals. We're going to talk about a lot of different things, but I'm going to give you some advice on some social media platforms you're going to use, some of the goals you might want to have for your social media, because a lot of people just think, oh, post and pray. No, don't post and pray. You have to have a plan. And the thing is, your plan's going to be based on the goal you want to have. Do you want people to find out about your business? Do you want them to know about your newest workshop you're going to have up for your clutch bags, right? You want to have those things. Or if you want to know, hey, we have a special, new travel deal coming up, these kind of things. What do you want to know? Or sometimes you just want to make it easier for people to find you. Because one of the things you have to realize is social media, they're going to find you there first. It doesn't matter if you have yourwebsite.com, your name, they're searching for you, you're still not going to come up first. Like when I search up Wolters World, woltersworld.com does not come up first. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, probably our IMDb page, all those things come up first. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about some things you shouldn't do on your professional social media. And that's where we start talking about separating personal and professional stuff. Then some tips on being successful on social media, and then some of the metrics. And this is one of the things a lot of people don't like to get into. Math, numbers. But I want to tell you right now, if you want to know what kind of stuff you should post and what your audience wants, your numbers will tell you. Because your gut, guess what? Your gut lies to you. You're like, oh, I know what people want. No, they don't. Your gut doesn't know anything. The numbers will tell you what you should be doing. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then I'm going to give you 40 easy content topics. So you're like, Mark, I came to this lesson. I came here to do something. Give me some homework. You're a professor, right? Give me something I can do to make my social media better. I'm going to give you 40 topics. At least 40 things you can make content on to give you homework when you leave. And a few other things I want you to do. Now, before we get started, what I'd like you to do is we want to see, how do people find you? If you're sitting next to someone, tell them what your business is. Just tell them what the business is, see if they can find it. The person next to you, take out your phone, and then take out your phone. So if it's your friend there, just, hey, take out your phone and check and see what comes up. Yes. Ask them what they do, ask them their business name, and see what comes up online. So have you guys chatted what you do, these kind of things? He's retired. Well, we'll find him online. Well, you can tell him, see if he can find you.
In a room like this, I can hear him because now it's noisy.
Okay, I feel like we've had some time to chat with each other. Have any of you actually looked at each other? Have you found them online? Were they the first thing that came up? Because here's one thing you have to realize is what you search for Ask the person next to Google exactly what they told you. What comes up? Are they number one? Sir, oh, see, did you find it? No. Okay. Shh. Let's focus again. We got to focus again. Bring it back. Bring it back. I know. You're like, I made new friends. I talked to people today. Yes. Building community is a very important thing with social media. But the thing is this, I wanted you to tell people what you do, because this is kind of like your elevator pitch. The thing is, you're going to explain your business, and then people have to go and try to find you, right? The thing is, when you explain your business, what actually comes up? Is it your actual business? Do they understand you? You said ServPro?
Yeah.
Yeah, so ServPro, but I might have heard service professionals. Wait, what service are you in? They might not get it, and so you want to see what actually pops up. Because sometimes it's cool. Sometimes when you search for yourself, the good stuff comes up. Like if I go on my phone right now, this is what comes up. Oh, Mark Walters, Gies College of Business. So cool. News Gazette article. Oh, look, Professor Walters, Mark Walters, Professor Walters, all this good stuff here. Rate my professors, all these nice things come up. But you notice when I search, so I got that's University of Iowa's thing. That's newspaper, social media, rate my professor, social media, Craigslist, social media, that's a social media kind of thing. That's what comes up. I search for my business. Hey, when I search on my own, Walters Road does come up, and the YouTube channel, and the Facebook, and the Instagram, and the Twitter, and the IMDb. Those things come up, but here's the problem. I'm searching on my phone. And my phone knows what I'm looking for. So it knows when I put in Walters World, it knows and so it's going to give me that. It's going to give you that result. And what you have is a problem. Because when you search on your own phone, your own computer for your stuff, it's going to give you what you want to see. People that don't know your business, they don't get that. They get other things. What you have to realize is whatever comes up, because think about it, you're sitting on the toilet searching something up. Whatever pops up, that's competition. And you may say, that's not our competition. Oh, we're Service Pro. That's not our competition. It doesn't matter. Because when people search what your business is, whatever shows up is your competition. So you need to see that. But the problem is, you've been searching your own business for a long time. What you got to go is go into the incognito mode. You know, it's where it doesn't track anything, no cookies, no nothing. And then do it and see what comes up. Like when I travel around the world, I'll actually search for, I'll go on at like they always have computers in hotels. And I'll go search what comes up. Like, is it Walters World or something else? And if you have a business that had any issues. I worked with a company years ago, and they're all about family and trust, but when you search them online, it talks about how their CFO had embezzled $20 million over the last 20 years. And that was the thing that came up every single time. So do I trust working for a company that can't catch someone embezzling that much money over that much time? I don't know. So they had to use social media to try to knock it down a little bit. You know, and so you want to think about these things. So this is the like perfect world when I look for myself, but this is what shows up. You have to see what's there. So when they're looking up for optometry in Urbana, what comes up? Like whatever your competition is, whatever you're doing, search that general topic and see. Because whatever they're doing, it's getting them to be top in search and results. Okay, so you want to kind of think about these things, right? So I just want to kind of have an idea so you can kind of see what's kind of going on, all right? Because you will get into a little tunnel. Have you ever noticed you always hear kind of the same thing from everybody on your social media? It gets an echo chamber. And that's the same thing. And for businesses, it works the same way. We get in our own echo chamber because we're using our own social media. And you want to make sure you know what your fans are following. Like when people are searching for what are they seeing? What page are they landing on? Are they landing on ESPN.com or are they landing on the fantasy football page? It really depends what they're looking for, right? And so we want to kind of think about that. We want to know these things. And so we started looking at different social media platforms, like what should we do? You really have to have a different plan, a different strategy for every social media platform. Because think about it, there's different people on different platforms. If you want to get young people, you're like, oh, TikTok. Yeah, TikTok is going to be very important. Instagram. If you don't want to get on TikTok, that's fine. Because you put the same stuff on TikTok, on Instagram, and YouTube. But YouTube is not going to help you get young people. Instagram and TikTok will. However, if I want to get 45-year-old, 48-year-old males, YouTube, Facebook. But you're going to have a different thing you're going to go for each one of these things. You had a question?
Yeah, would the goal be to have your social media, like if you're an established business, your goal be to have your social media pop up first or your website?
So she asked if the goal, because they can hear it on the thing. So the question was, like, should the goal be for your social media pop up first or your website? So you'd love for your website to pop up first, but it's not going to. Sometimes it will, but in general, the social media is probably going to, so you want to use that to your advantage. It's a supplement to bring people in. Because I'm going to trust a Facebook page more than I trust a random website. Like Champagne Service Pro, I don't know which one this is because how many bogus websites have you found? But if there's a Facebook page that has Champagne, I think at least Facebook so kind of proofed it, you might have that. So you're not competing against each other. They're actually supplements. They're helping each other for that. So don't think it's one or the other. You want both. Whichever one it comes to, because they're going to find you, and that's what's important. Okay. And the thing is, you're going to have a different strategy for each of them. It's like your Facebook page, which is probably going to come up the most for your business. That one might be, hey, we want to establish authority. We want to say, hey, we're the people that do the Service Pro work that you're going to trust. So here's our before and afters. Here's the stuff we do. Here's our product list. Here's the things we have there. Here's our hours. It's almost like an extension of your website. But then our Twitter thing might be, hey, you know what? Storm system coming through, flooding, here's some tips we have for you to avoid flooding damage, or how to mitigate it, right? Little things you can do, like, wait, why would you want to mitigate flood damage? Don't you want houses to flood so you can get more work? Well, yes, that would be nice, but think about it. If she's giving advice, because that's what Service Pro does that, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so if you're doing that advice to kind of help it, if it does, wow, you've helped me not have these bad things happen to my house, but when it finally does happen, haven't I been following you, listen to your advice, then it's like, oh, I'm going to go work with them. Because one of the biggest goals we're going to talk about with social media is building what we call community spirit. You don't sell on social. I'll tell you right now, how many of you have unfollowed friends because they're trying to sell you the creams or the wraps or whatever the latest multi-level marketing scheme is, right? You get turned off by that. You know? And that's the same thing with influencers. When they start having too many ads in their videos, or the videos just are ads, don't you stop following them? Yeah, you have to realize social media isn't about selling. Social media is about building that community. So when they do want to buy, then they go to your website and buy. Right? So you want to kind of think about that. But it really starts with having a specific strategy for each one of those platforms you're going to use. And here's a big thing. You don't have to be on every platform. You just have to be on the platform that your customers are on. So if you're a ophthalmology place in Urbana that's trying to get college students to come in, optometry, sorry. Optometry place that's trying to get somebody, well, here's the thing. I don't know the difference. And I'm going to search for both of those, so you need to have that on your search engine for both. Even if you're like, that's not the way it is.
We have a video on why they're different.
Perfect. I wouldn't even know there's a difference, but it's the thing you want to have. Now, the thing is, it depends what you're going to search for. If I want to bring in those college students to do it, well, that's one thing.
iCard discount.
That's one of the things. So you'd be targeting the TikTok, Instagram. That's what you're going to go for. You're not going to waste your time on Facebook because not one student is on Facebook. They'll post one picture for grandma to see, and that's it. So, okay, but if I want to go get, let's say, because remember, it's Champaign, so we have students and retirees. If I want the retirees, maybe Facebook, or more likely, it would be something. Yeah, so you want to have those. So you kind of think about that. But one thing I always have when I talk with clients, sometimes like, well, I don't like that platform. I don't like TikTok. Well, if you want to get college students, I don't care what you like. It doesn't matter what you like. Are you in business for you? No, you're in business to provide value for someone, so you need to be where they are. So one of the biggest things people have trouble with is like, well, I don't like TikTok. I don't like Instagram. It doesn't matter. Or you could like, well, I really like Twitter. Well, guess what? No students are on Twitter. Don't waste your time. Yeah. Right? And that's one of the things. You're like, but we're really good at it. Doesn't matter. So that's one thing you have to realize. Some platforms you have to be on even if you don't want to be on, and sometimes you don't have to be on a platform. But one thing I would say is make sure you do at least have a presence on there. And it could just be that you have an X account, a Twitter account that has, Service Pro Champaign. This is our official account. We do not use this. Find us at serviceprochampaign.com. And then that's one post you have. You pin that on the top. That's the only thing you have there. So people do use social to search for you. There's at least something to send to where you want to go. Okay, so you want to kind of think about that. Because one thing you realize, social media, what it really does is it's social. It's about interaction. And what happens with interaction? Think about it. Your best friend. Who's your best friend? Think your best friend. Were they your best friend the first day you met them? No. It took time. You had to socialize with them, talk with them, share things with them. That's what social media does. You're sharing these experiences. So then it really humanizes your brand. It makes it into a person, a personality. I mean, think about it. There's people that literally ride or die for McDonald's, ride or die for Coca-Cola because they feel like it's a person, it's a part of them. And that's when I kind of think about social media. It can help with your business, right? It can help, have people really see you as a person, right? So you want to think about it in that way because if you post to robots, if you post to things you think people will want, it's not going to work. Because if I post to male 30 to 50 who likes football, that's not going to work. But if I have this is Jeff K. He's 47. He lives in Muhammad. His kids go to Muhammad schools because he didn't want to be in Champaign, but he works for the U of I. All of a sudden, I start to see a real person I can talk to. That's one of the big mistakes people make. They make generic posts. People don't like generic. Do you like the email that comes to you? Hello, valued customer. Oh. Or how many you like those phone calls? Oh, due to unusual high call volume. Your call is very important to us, but due to unusual high call volume, we can't answer your call for 3 hours. No, then my call is not important to you, right? It's the same thing if you send out those stock social media posts where it doesn't connect with them. And that's the thing, is the connection you get with social media makes a big difference, all right? And the thing is, when you're looking at what you're going to make, you got to realize this: content is king. Now, what is content? Content is anything you create. If it's a reel you make on Instagram, if it's a video you make on YouTube, it's a carousel of multiple pictures that you put up. That is content. But the thing is, you have to realize content is always king. It doesn't matter if you're beautiful in a bikini. If your content doesn't add anything, doesn't add any value, nobody cares. There's plenty of cute people in bikinis going around on the internet. But the ones that say you got to add something extra, it's got to have value, okay? And that's what you want to think about. Because you're not bringing value to people. There's not a what's in it for me on every single post you post. Why are you doing it? You have to ask yourself that. Why am I posting this? Oh, it's Thursday, we have to post. Why? Have something to say, have where it's adding value. So, hey, I'm posting to let them know about our workshop on clutch bags. That is adding value. Oh, do you like to create your own jewelry? We have some classes to do that. Oh, are you looking for gifts for Mother's Day? It's a little late now, but for a late Mother's Day gift, we have some stuff for you. That is adding value. Hey, we can help out and solve your problem, right? And that's what you have to realize, because a lot of people, when you have people that just post online, how many of your friends just keep posting stuff about their dinner every single day, what they eat? Remember back in Facebook and MySpace days, people would do that? Yeah. Who cares? Who cares? Do I really need to know every single thing you're dating? No, and it turns people off. So you want to make sure every single post has value with it. The value can be different things, because you think about it. Why do people watch? Service Pro, why do they watch your stuff? Oh, maybe they have a problem that need to be solved. Oh, if it's an artist, hey, maybe they want to be entertained. Maybe they be inspired. If it's a travel one, hey, I'm looking for a new destination. I'm looking how not to get pickpocketed in Paris. Like, that's adding value. Just like, oh, come work with us. Why? That's not, order from Service Pro, order from wherever. It's not going to work, right? So you have to think about that. So give them that reason to watch, give them that reason to read. So answer a question they have about your product or service. Have that what's in it for me. And remember, your brand personality has to go through it, because nobody wants a generic post, right? So you want to think about that. Now, when I talk about, good content, it really depends, because you can have different kind of goals you have for your social media, and the content's going to be good for it, because there's good content you can make to get people to sign up. There's good content you can get people to talk about your stuff. I mean, how many of you have ever heard of rage baiting? Maybe you've seen this online where they do something, oh, pineapple should always be on pizza. Oh no, pineapple's horrible. And people just debate on that, right? The best Big Ten school, well, if I'm here in Champaign, I say Ohio State. Oh, drop dead. Oh, yeah, but I do it in order to get people to engage. That could be a goal. But you want to start thinking about typical goals people have. One of the biggest ones you have is just building awareness to your brand. That's why social media is so great. It gives you a chance to be seen. Look, nobody's looking for Service Pro on their own. Nobody's looking for artists on their own. How do I find about it? How many of you, there was a circus at Sam's Club this weekend. Did you know that? Exactly, because they didn't post anything about it. It would have been nice to know, because I would have taken my kids there, right? Because that's one of the things. Well, we advertise in the newspaper. When was the last time you bought a News Gazette? The only times I buy a News Gazette? When I'm in the News Gazette. So I'm like 3 times a year. I'm in the News Gazette. That's the only 3 issues I buy, right? So it's not really the right place. So that's one of the big things we can use. We have very, very targeted. What you have to realize is social media advertising is so cheap and so good in targeting. You're just wanting to get students on campus. You can literally target just 18 to 22 on campus in Champaign, Urbana, nowhere else. So you're not getting the kids that are going to Parkland, or you're not getting the kids that are going to like Tuscola Tech, right? So you can think about that. Right? Now, another thing you want to think about with your social media, sometimes you want to use it to drive people to either a website or to a physical place. Think about, anybody ever go to the City Dairy Barn? 3 of us, y'all need to go to City Dairy Barn. It's awesome. Or Dewey's Drive-In in Farmer City, another great place to go to. The thing is, for their social media, they're like, yeah, we want people to know about our fantastic ice cream, but we want people to come to our store. So you can have posts that drives business, not just to your website, but to your actual physical location. Think about it. Have you ever seen social media posts that are trying to get you to buy movie tickets? Because there's the first goal they have, awareness. Oh, there's a new Avengers movie coming out. Oh, Doomsday. Oh, you're getting interested. You can't buy the tickets yet. Our first set is just to get you interested in it. And then about 3 months before the movie comes out, then they all of a sudden have all these social media posts. Oh, go to amc.com/Avengers to get your tickets now. Now they're driving you to a specific website. Okay, so it can be a place, it can be a website, but that's something you can do. Okay, and that's what I think people kind of forget. They think it's always going to a website. No, sometimes you want to get people to go to your store, because there are still some physical stores left. It's not just online sales, right? You want to think about that. Another really big thing you have to realize is social media, that engagement side of it. You have to go on there. If people come, even if they're jerks about it, sometimes jerk clients sometimes have a point. Sometimes you do mess up. But it's how you respond to them. Like, I have a whole series on how to deal with trolls, which probably we're not going to talk about this here, but it's one thing you want to think about is, hey, how do I engage with, one, answering their questions, Think about it. Even if they're not going to be your client eventually, people see that you're helping other people. It gives a positive vibe for you. It's like, oh, hey, that's a website that can help out. Yeah, Service Pro, hey, I got a new house. Probably not going to have any problems. I literally bought on the top of a hill, so all the water goes down. So theoretically, I should never have anything go wrong. However, sometimes things happen. And eventually, hey, I've enjoyed their content. It's kind of funny stuff, or it's entertainment or educational. Oh my God, this happened. I know who they are, right? And so you start thinking about these things. And the thing is, when you start engaging with your fans, you're answering their questions, you're talking to them, and even if it's just a thumbs up or a like, think about it. Have any of you ever commented on a YouTube post or a Facebook post or Instagram post for somebody famous, and they commented back? You're like, oh my God, Justin Bieber said hi! It wasn't Justin Bieber. It was his social media team. But you don't care because you're so excited for it. And the thing is, if you're doing this, oh wait, she cared enough to answer my question, the fact that I've already talked to you 3 times a day is more like I'm going to buy from you. And that personal side of it, you have to realize is people do not have physical interaction anymore. Especially going for a younger audience. They do not want to call you. They will never call you. You have to have it in a way that, hey, we can interact in the way they want to interact. Right? And so you use that, you engage with them. You talk to them, you answer their question. Then you're like, oh, if you want more help, you want to sign up for a program, you want to sign up for something, you're looking for something, I can help you out. Okay, because it's about developing that kind of community spirit. And that's why I keep harping. That's why it's the bold, underlined, italic. The biggest thing with social media is generating that community spirit, that community vibe that people have. It's not just a company trying to sell to me. I mean, do any of you trust ads? No. Something like 18% of Americans trust ads. However, how many of you will trust a 4.5-star review on Google? Yes, because it's actual people that went there, right? And how many of these people, your friend tells you it's a great movie, but you don't believe him. Then you go to IMDb and or Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, Rotten Tomatoes says it's good, and then you go see it. Social media is very powerful too. And sometimes you're like, well, it doesn't really, no, it does matter because people will look at those reviews. They're going to look online and say, this is the place I want to go. Because there's a lot of options. Whatever you do, you may think you're special and you're the only one that does it, but you know what? There's millions of other people that do the same thing. And whatever they search online, whatever comes up, why are they going to go to you? What's the value you're adding? Do they feel like you're something? That engagement gets them to know about you, and it generates that community feeling. And therefore, they're more likely to buy with you later. Okay, so that's one thing I just want to say with social media is you really got to use the engagement factor of it. Talking to them, answering their questions, doing outreach things. And here's the thing, generating community spirit isn't just doing it online. You do events. Like I do these events, I do this for free for the Champaign and Chamber of Commerce, for the library. Why? Because, hey, you know what? I want to give back. I want to engage with the audience. I want to find out new things because you'll find out from your fans or your customers, they'll let you know. Because how many of you can say bad news to somebody? How many could come up and say, you know what? That blue shirt is horrible on you. No, you could never do that. No one would ever do that in person. It actually looks good on you. You look great. You look great. That's why I can say it, 'cause you look great. But online, how many of you have had that? Like, oh my God, I can't believe she wore that shirt with those pants. Oh my God. People are evil online, right? But the thing is that evil, a lot of times, they're sharing more stuff that you can actually learn from. And that's one of the things. You might have the trolls or people having bad comments, but sometimes issues happen. There's not anybody here that sells glasses and contacts, but another place in town, in Champaign, not Urbana, I bought contacts. I waited for them to be delivered. 6 months later, I'm still waiting. I write them like, hey, I never got my contacts. Like, oh no, it was delivered. I'm like, I have the USPS, notifies you when things get there. And I went on the day you said it was there, it was not delivered. Another 6 months trying to get glasses. So I'm like, okay. Facebook review. Yes, wonderful doctor, really like my wife loves them, great job. However, after a year of trying to get my contacts, I still don't have them. And then, shockingly enough, guess what showed up a week later? The contacts. People will use that. Even happy customers will have to do that because you have to go. So what happens if there's a bad review? You bought contacts and they never came. You want to spend $200 and never get your money back? Like, this is one thing you have to think about. Because you can generate leads and you can generate sales with social media, but also you can lose them. So you need to be monitoring these things. Your Facebook reviews, your Google reviews, those are 2 most important ones. Now, depending on your business, there might be other things. Angie's List, or like Angie.com now, it used to be Angie's List, those kind of things for service professionals. Like, people are reading those things. And I don't want to lie to you, your competition sometimes writes bad reviews. As I like to tell, I never have to remind my unhappy students to write reviews for a class. Because they're going to go out and rate my professor and be like, oh, he's a jerk. They're going to fill out those forms at the end and say, this class was horrible. Just like your unhappy customers are going to write something. Even your happy customers that are unhappy with one set, they're going to write something. Right? And so how you respond to that is going to be very important. Because sometimes how you respond to it actually can get people to go on your side. Or actually, you can turn people that were mad at you to your fans. I had a comment one time on one of our travel videos. It was about Portugal. And the guy, basically it was a parody video. And the guy's like, you deserve the same fate as Saddam Hussein. This is when Saddam Hussein got hung. I'm like, damn, dude. And I explained, I was like, obviously this guy didn't get the joke. So I explained to him, like, look, this is a parody video. You could have seen it on TV because we were like it was like on MTV Portugal and stuff. And I was like, explaining, and he's like, oh, and the guy became a super huge fan. Like for years, he like and comment all the videos, all kinds of stuff. But he started off as like, you deserve the same fate as Saddam Hussein. Like that's the thing you have to do is how you handle the negative comments can get people to either go for you or make it worse. That's why you never feed the trolls. You always want to stay professional. Remember, no matter how much you're upset at AT&T or Walmart, do they ever yell at you back? No. They're always like, thank you for shopping at AT&T. We appreciate your business. Thank you for coming to Walmart. Have a great day. Yeah, thank you. Why? Because what happens if that Walmart associate or that AT&T person snaps back at them? What's going all over social media forever? Oh, the Walmart associate that beat the out of somebody, right? So you got to be careful with these things. That's why it's really important when you're looking at social media, have guidelines for what you want to do. Okay, now back to our kind of goals with social media, some things you want to think about. Sometimes LinkedIn, I'll tell you right now, for a lot of young people, that is the best recruiting tool you can have. Yeah, it's funny, like my students, they always, whenever they get their jobs, their internships, like, I'm proud to announce, I am taking my skills to Ernst & Young this fall for an internship in social media. Thing is, they have that is like, oh, my friend got that job at Ernst & Young, I'll apply for a job there. And that's what companies do. They really help it. It really is really good to finding out what it's like going to work there, right? And so you have that. So recruiting can be very helpful. But one thing I think would be important, especially if you are a small business in a smaller community and you, look, I can be somebody in this community, being a thought leader in the community can be very important. If you're the one that's, talking about travel, if you're the one that people know that that's the travel person we need to talk to, oh, you can be that thought leader. That's why sometimes you don't use social media. Look, I call it the 4-1-1 rule. You have 4 posts. It could be about your products, it could be about successful things, how to use your product, whatever. And then you have 1 post that's you sharing content from someone else. Because what's a guaranteed way to get someone to like your comment or like your post? Put them in it. Share their stuff. Oh, they shared my post. They shared my comments. And social media now is so easy. YouTube, you can literally make videos based on comments people have, and it'll show up right there. They let you film it right there. But sharing someone else's content shows that, look, I care about your work, and I want to share yours. That's one of the great things you do. And then all of a sudden, it's like, wait, you're not just about yourself, you're about sharing other people. And then, so you got 4 stuff talking about the greatness of your products, but you're not selling. You're just talking about the values, the benefits, these kind of things. People, happy customers. You share somebody's stuff, and then you can have a selling thing. Hey, housing problem? Flooding problem? Call us at servpro.com, whatever, 1-800-SERVPRO Champaign. These kind of things, because that's what you want to be very careful with, because nobody wants to be sold to on social. Okay, you can sell, but only occasionally. So remember that, because otherwise people get turned off. Now, another goal for social media is improving your search and optimization. You're a small business in Champaign. You're a small business in Urbana. You are not going to win. Ask any of your friends that are bloggers. The last 2 or 3 changes in the algorithm for Google has wiped out blogger business. I have friends of mine in the travel industry who've lost 90%, 90, not 9, not 19, 90% of their income because the algorithms have changed and it's only going to the bigger spots. And it's not Walter's World they're going to, waltersworld.com, they're going to YouTube. They're going to, it's what's popping on Facebook. It's travel and leisure, whatever. So for my only way to get into those spaces is to go through social. That's how they're going to find you. And that's how the algorithms are working. So you have to be aware of that. So even if you want to fight it, you don't want to be a part of it, you have to. Okay? Because otherwise you're not going to show up. Because that's one of the best things. It does really help, with your search and optimization. And if you're a new company, another goal you could have, hey, let's use our social media to tell people our new products. If you think about it, what are some new things you've come up with in the last few years that people don't know? Like people know what we do in our business. I don't know. Do you do testing at your place? Like what all do you do? Your business with the eye stuff, because I don't know the right word. Let's see, test for glaucoma. So, did you know? Diabetic. Okay, so didn't know that. See, so these are things you say. Hey, here's some things you might not know that we offer. Services we might. Oh, I didn't know that. So when you come in for your eye scan, we can do X. Do. Like, oh, hey, And think about it. If you have, if it's Diabetic Week or Diabetic Awareness Month, that's one thing you link up with these things. Yeah, anybody ever put up like, Throwback Thursday pictures from like back in the day when you were a little kid or whatever? Yeah, those things work. The algorithms love those things. They know Throwback Thursday is a great one. Motivation Monday, right? So you find those things, you use those to help you kind of go. That's why if you put out your Christmas content at Christmas, it works better, right? So you kind of think about trending things. So something to kind of think about, okay? Now, some things I really don't want you to do as a small business, or anybody should do with their social media. There's a few things I really want to go through. One, you never want to buy likes. You never want to buy views, unless you're buying it directly from YouTube, i.e. advertising. So if you want to advertise on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, they'll tell you, oh, if you give us $500, you'll end up getting 2,000 views and 100 subscribers. I'm just giving you an example. And that's what you get. However, I'm sure if any of you have a business, you've probably gotten this Instagram message. Hey, we can get you 1,000 subscribers for $5 or 20,000 subscribers for $15. Here's the thing, it's so easy to do that, but the thing is, do you really want 20,000 fake followers? Because you know what happens when you have people that don't actually interact? It makes your channel look worse. Does a Sydney Dairy Bar need 1 million followers? No, they need the people in Sydney and the Champaign area to follow it because they're going to come actually buy the ice cream. They're not making money off of talking about ice cream. So you have to think about that. What's going to drive people in? So you want to think about it. That's why subscribers, followers, views, it's not going to help you. Like maybe at the beginning because you want to like have proof of concept, but in general, it's not a good way to go. And if you're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, if you buy followers from outside third parties, it's against terms of service and they will take down your page. So all the work you've done over years is gone. And this is, we're talking major artists have lost billions of views, had to start new channels, all kinds of things. So you want to think about that. Another thing is criticizing other companies. Yes, we hate our competition. Our competition sucks. We're so much better than them. But here's the problem. When you talk about your competition, what do people remember? You talked about the competition. They don't remember what you said bad about them. They just remember you talked about the competition. It's kind of like Burger King. They have so many problems. But when they came out with the Big King XL many years ago, they said, if you want a Big Mac, you should get a Big King XL because the 2 patties just like a Big Mac, but we got a better one, a Big King XL. The whole ad is basically talking about the Big Mac. And then when I finished the ad, do I remember what an ad talks about? No, I just remember they mentioned Big Mac. So I'm like, ooh, I want to go to McDonald's. That's why you don't want to talk about your competition. Also, you look petty. You look very petty. And you may think, well, that's kind of funny. Wendy's can pull it off. Okay, Wendy's Twitter feed, they can pull off the spicy text and stuff, but small businesses, it's a little more difficult. It's kind of like, hey, we need to focus on our positive kind of things. Because here's another thing. A lot of the algorithms also now, like I talk about the rage baiting, you say stuff to piss people off, so then they comment. You do that too much, they notice there's too much negativity, they actually show your stuff less. So it's like, oh, yeah, maybe once in a while you want to do that, but don't keep talking about pineapple on pizza every day. It's not going to work in the long run, okay? Another thing I think is important, going on a tangent. Look, people follow your content for a reason. I follow your because I like your artist's work, right? I follow your stuff because I own a bunch of apartment buildings and hey, how can I make sure bad stuff happens? I don't care about your politics. I don't care about your kids' events. I don't care. People don't care about that. I come to follow you for a reason. How many of you have unfollowed friends online? You don't have to tell me why, but I'm going to guess, was it politics? Was it stuff they're talking about? Like chemtrails, conspiracies, dude. You follow people for a reason. And businesses, it's one of the big mistakes small businesses make. You start integrating personal with your professional. No. It needs to be separate. Now you may say, but I already have a big following. I don't have to start over again. Then make that personal page the business page and start your own family page on another one. Okay? Because it's not worth it in the long run. Well, we have 500 followers, so what? You can get them again. Here's another thing. How many of you are embarrassed to ask people to follow you? Yeah? Why? Are you embarrassed with your work? Do you good stuff? No, you do good stuff. You should never be embarrassed. I'm never embarrassed. Hey, Walter's World. You ever want honest travel advice? I don't walk around with a floppy hat and a flowy dress going, oh my God, this place is the greatest place ever, because they paid me $5,000 to say it. No. I give honest travel advice, and I stand behind everything I say because it's from personal experience. You ask me about going to Myanmar, I'm going to say, I don't know, I've never been. I'm not going to give you any advice because I don't know. But you want to know about France? Oh, I can help you on that. You want to know about Brazil? I live there, man. I'll tell you everything you want to know. Right? But you have to focus on what's important. The thing is, people follow you for a reason. Once you go on a tangent, this is one of the things I've learned, because I teach at the U of I, so I have my students make content so they can see how analytics are. I'm like, here, we're going to spend a week, literally, I just put for a week, I put student-made content on our Instagram for our travel channel. And within a day, people are writing, hey, why are you putting up this student college crap? I follow you for travel, right? Don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate that. So you want to think about this. Anytime you go off on a tangent, people aren't going to follow you. You're going to upset them. And here's the thing. Once they don't watch 3 or 4 of your videos, they don't click like on 3 or 4 of your posts, you stop seeing them. How many of you have like 1,000 friends on Facebook, but you only see the same 5 people showing up all the time? It's because you haven't liked their posts. You go and like one of your friends' posts again, guess what? They're going to pop up for a little while. That's why when you first subscribe to a channel, YouTube will show you their videos, like 9 of their videos in a row. Because they're like, oh, let's see if you really like it. So you want to kind of think about these things, okay? That's why, I talk about don't mixing business with personal. The same thing with the politics. You don't want to go in there. Yes, my friend.
That kind of leads me to a question when you talk about not mixing business and personal. For those that have you talk about building community, kind of humanizing your business, and I feel like a lot of times that's through personal branding, kind of. So then, how would you? Okay, so
the question is how do you separate personal branding and personal stuff if you want to build a community feeling about yourself? And this is one thing that influencers have to deal with a lot, because what you want to do is, yes, you want to share personal stuff, but personal within the realm that's going to help do business. I mean, you can do it occasionally, but when you start doing it too much, you start getting preachy about things, and people are like, look, it's cool. I saw pictures of your family. That's awesome. Or, hey, you just want to say, Happy Mother's Day from Walter's World to all the mothers out here. Here's my mom, and here's my wife, the mother of my babies. Thank you. That's fine. It's helping share your story, but at the end of the day, they don't want it all the time. Because they wanted that, they go to your personal, influencer page. And that's where you have to balance it. And that's where it's kind of there's certain topics it's best to lay off of. Unless it's really important to you. If it's really important to you, go ahead. Okay, I'm not going to tell anybody not to post about things if it's really important to them, but I'm just saying, don't expect people to be super happy about it and people to keep following you. Because you can see, that's why my travel channels, my business channels, I never talk politics ever. Even my wife doesn't know where I go politic-wise. Because I'm look, there's a lot of people from all different sides, and I want to help everybody travel, because my videos are about helping people travel. My videos are about helping people run a business, and they're from all gamuts. And you're here to learn about social media, not learn about my political views, right? Or whatever your spicy take is. Now, if your whole brand is about spicy takes, that's different. But in general, for small businesses, you're not done spicy takes. Does that help? Yeah. Okay. Now, sorry. Another thing, I've talked about not respond to the trolls, but even if you want to respond to the trolls, never respond angry. One thing I recommend, anytime you want to write anything, you want to post anything, type it in Word first or Google Docs. One, they have what's called grammar check and spell check, because how many of you, someone will say, oh, they're so stupid, and they write T-H-E-I-R. And no one says, oh, yeah, you're right there. So they're like, you can't even say the right there. Look, you put those things in there, it's going to eliminate a lot of the issues. Also, sometimes when you type it out and you read it to yourself afterwards, that's why, don't forget to read before you send. You see those mistakes. Am I being kind of a jerk? Am I responding professionally? Having it the second time read through makes a huge difference, okay? Now, also it helps you improve things. It's kind of like when I ever tell anybody, if you want to do a good speech, you don't just write it and then go up and send it. You practice a few times. I can see my students actually practice a presentation before they do it 10 times better than people that just walk up there and do it. It's the same thing here. You want to make sure you practice, see what's right. How can I change it? How's it going to look in there? And there's all kinds of websites that will actually let you preview it beforehand. How will it show up? Okay, so you want to think about that. Now, another thing I want to tell you is posting schedules are very important. All of them, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, they like schedules. They like regularity. Some people, they wake up and have their coffee and their cigarette, they go to the bathroom, then they take their shower, and they get dressed, they go to work. Do you have a daily kind of schedule thing? I mean, it doesn't be that exact order. But yeah, you have that. YouTube, they all love that because they know, Monday at 8 a.m., I know she posts, so I can plan for that. So they're waiting for your 8 a.m. on Monday post to come out, and they're going to shoot out to your followers because they know it's there. But also your followers know every 8 a.m. on Mondays there's going to be something new from you, so they're expecting it. When you start scattershot posting, no one knows when to watch, and the algorithm doesn't know either. Okay, so it's good to have a schedule for when you're going to do things. And you may say, well, Mark, do we have to post every day? No. No, you could post once a month. Heck, there's YouTubers that are huge. They post once every other month because what they're creating. Now, if you're a business, one thing I might say is what we always want to have scheduled out. Hey, if there's going to be any holiday, everybody wants to know, if it's a holiday, are you open? Right? It doesn't matter if it's Arbor Day. Well, is Arbor Lincoln Trail is out of school today, so could I take my kid there? Small business. Yeah.
So this is something that I kind of struggle with in our business. Is having a uniform schedule like that. I have kind of a general, for Facebook, I try to make sure we post 5 times a week, 5 out of 7. generally never on the same day. Same thing with Instagram, and then TikTok's more sporadic. However, I just do it based off our analytics on like those platforms to know when to do that. But so I guess I'm not following that though, but
It's okay.
I don't know.
Okay, so here's what's nice. What I like to do with the schedule is then I have the content I know I need to make, because then you know what you need to do. And if you have the same thing, your audience knows what to expect. However, you're going to look through your analytics and find the best times for you. Because YouTube, if you ask YouTube, you go ask ChatGPT, what are the best times, what are the worst times to post on YouTube? It'll tell you Saturdays and Sundays. However, having 1 million followers and hundreds of millions of views, I will tell you right now, for travel content, Saturday is the second best day of the week. And the first day of the week is Sunday. Those are 2 best days to post travel content. Because that's when people are getting up and thinking about their vacations. What are we going to go? We're going to do these things. That's how they do that. Just like, trying to help
All
out.
three of us are like, okay,
Yeah.
all travel done.
Yeah, no, but it's true. But the thing is, it could be different for different platforms. So that's YouTube. Instagram could be completely different. So you always want to look at your analytics and see when's the best time to go. Because they have a thing of what's called a heat map. And depending on the platform, like YouTube's great. YouTube's the best because they literally give you 7 days of the week, 24 hours in a day, so you know when's the best time to post. When most people are on, that's when you're posting. I'll tell you right now, there's absolutely no reason to post after 9 o'clock at night and before 7 o'clock in the morning because nobody's on.
My analytics based off of my previous posts. So it wouldn't really I'm dictating that schedule that the analytics are giving me. So what's a better way to gather that data, I guess?
So what they're going to give you, they're not based off your post, they're based on the people that look at your content, when are they online? So that's what they're doing on those heat maps.
Okay.
And because I was the same way. I was like, wait, but of course I get most of my views on Saturday morning because I post at 7 a.m. on Saturday morning every Saturday.
Okay.
So I'm like, is it the chicken or the egg?
Gotcha.
And they're like, well, you just happen to have picked the day that most people watch, and so you kind of see it that way. Now, I will say Instagram and Facebook, they just give you the days. They don't necessarily give you the time. But if you go on to scheduling, because all these platforms have where you can schedule on their platform, a lot of them will give you suggested times. So it might be I'll get one 2 a.m. I'm like,
the Meta Business Suite.
yeah, Meta Business Suite does that a lot. Someone in the back had a question. Yes.
Okay, so I'm a little bit new to looking at analytics for my particular business.
Yes.
Can you give me some tips on where to go and how to do that?
Yes, I'm going to actually talk about analytics in a little bit, and so we'll have that there. So say that question then, because when I go through I'll talk about the hits, visits, unique visitors, all those things. That's going to be a good time for us to talk about that. Sound good? All right. So not having a schedule can be troublesome. Other thing, a lot of people don't want to share other people's content. One thing I recommend, do you have to post everything yourself? For example, I do travel content, and there's a new travel warning for going to Zimbabwe. Do I need to make my own content, or could I just share the U.S. State Department's content? That's one of the things you want to think about, because you have what's called a content and curation sphere. I like to look at it. You have content that you're really good. What is your business about? You can write on that. You can make videos on that. You can do posts on that, no problem. Then there's stuff you're expected to be an expert on. Right? So I can talk about social media marketing all day long, but I should be able to talk about other marketing stuff as well and sales, because that's related. But then there's stuff that, people that like marketing content also would like this information, like maybe the Dow Jones closing number, right? Or NASDAQ closing numbers. I don't need that myself. I can actually curate, which means curate from other people and share from there. So my travel agent people, think of all the people with content you could share. Do you need to make a video about the don'ts of cruise travel, or do you go to Living La Vida Loca or whatever? There's one of my buddies, Tony, has a cruise channel, and he has stuff like, hey, what happens if you miss your boat? These kind of things, why you want to be on time. Do you need to be the mean person to make that video? Maybe you can share somebody else's content instead. Yeah.
How about stitching other people's content?
Stitching is fine as well. It's going to be interesting to see, because I feel eventually there's going to be a revenue share model on there. Just make sure, if you're stitching, they've allowed it to be stitched, so you're okay. But just know they can change it later, so that content can disappear later if they just say no. And if they ever say, hey, YouTube is one where they ask you to take it down. If they ever do that, just say, okay, because then you don't want to get the strikes for it. Instagram, TikTok, they don't care. At least it seems like that, so you're a little bit better. But that can be helpful, because that's what you're doing, is you're using trending topics. So if you see something that's trending in your industry, you can stitch that or do a duet. If you're not sure what those are, that's when you take other people's content and you kind of react to it and talk about it and you integrate together. That can help you, because that's a trending thing. You can find new audiences that way. So does that help?
Yeah. If you
Yeah.
if the first 5 seconds is really attractive,
Yep.
but you've got a hot take on what they're saying,
Yes.
then
And
you can take your own direction.
exactly, and that's the thing. It's very key you take it in your own direction, because if you're not, you have to creatively change it enough so there's not, just copying it. So, Good question. Good point. Good point. Another thing that's really important you don't forget to do is actually listening to your followers. Like people will write you and they'll ask you questions. One of the easiest way you can do it, I'll talk about it later. Like, you need new content. What are the 20 most asked questions you get? Like, what are people asking you about? What are the dumbest questions you get? Like, you get all these questions from people. Not only if you answer them, you help them out. They also give you ideas for content to make. Because they're like, what's the most common question you get?
What to do with your basement flood?
What do you, right there, do you have a content on that? Do you have videos, do you have carousels? And that's one that gets asked a lot, so you can make that a lot of times, right? So you can talk about these things. And the thing is, that not listening to your followers is a big mistake because they're going to tell you what they want. And even if it's not an online thing, it could be in your physical store. People might have, it's not just reviews either, it could be like you might point something out, like we have a new Culver's in Mahomet. Fantastic people, runs great. However, they've been open since February and all the lines in the parking lot are already gone. So my review is like, fantastic, greatest Culver's in Eastern Illinois. However, good luck parking. Or hey, you don't actually turn on the light. You have to go down to the street that has no lights on it and then turn in there. And they're like, oh, we need to make a comment about how do you find us? On your billboard, maybe on their billboard, they need to say, hey, go through the light and then take a right. So you want to think about that. Someone had a question back there. Yeah.
Are you going to talk about the social media planner, like Buffer, using one of them?
So I'll talk a little bit with the analytics because we talk about how you can do those, but that's a little bit beyond what we're doing a little more basic stuff here. If you're not sure what Buffer is, there's HubSpot, there's all kinds of stuff that let you schedule all the stuff in one spot. And so you can have that. There's free ones you can do as well. Hootsuite will let you do 3 profiles.
Social Pilot's a good one.
Social Pilot's another one. There's a lot of different platforms. So if you want to do the same post, you can schedule them all at the same time, or it keeps it all together. Because one of the things when you schedule out content, you always want to track what you post, because you never know what happens. I had to post the 5 things you love and hate about going to Valencia, Spain. If you don't know what happened to Valencia last year, they had horrible flooding with literally dozens of people dying. I'm like, oh, I know I had a comment. I'm like, we're going to move that back, because you're not going to be putting out loves and hates of Valencia when people are dying. Right? And some of the platforms will penalize you for that because they say, hey, you're trying to take advantage of a bad situation. So you gotta be careful. So those things can help you, and they have good search, so you can look in there and search like, hey, do I have any posts about Valencia, Spain or whatever? And I can go and look up those things. And they are helpful, and they also will track analytics as well, going with my friend there, and kind of compile it together, and they make it a little more user-friendly sometimes. So something to think about. Now, other things, some tips you need to talk about. Like I said, content's always king. One thing I think is important, develop champions. Who are your fans? I mean, how many of you have a favorite restaurant? Anyone have a favorite restaurant? You ride and die with them, doesn't matter. For me, it was El Patio, the best Mexican restaurant in Champaign. Sadly, went out of business. So I guess it wasn't the best. But that's one place, no matter what. I'd be online, talk about all kinds of stuff. And they're like, hey, Mark, you want a free t-shirt? Hey, you have some. They made me even more of a fan, so I talked about it even more. You find those people out there, because then you don't have to be the one telling somebody to quit being a jerk when they're commenting. Your audience will, your fans will. And so you find those people that are going to be the people that are going to be your champions out there. And that's one thing you have to realize. You could be a small business. A champion is a person that's sharing your stuff, because one of the things for small business is word of mouth. There's thousands of options out there, but where am I going to go to? Because my friend recommended me to go to Urbana Walmart to get my glaucoma check. That's what I go. So can I use this? How can we use this to help out? That's why when you ask people, hey, share our content. Ever gone to your doctor's office or a dentist's office? We grow from recommendations from our clients like you, our patients like you. It's the same kind of thing. All right? Now, other things I really make sure you're doing. Really, when we're going into our analytics, my friend in the back, always look at the demographics of your analytics, because it will be very different. If I look at my YouTube, 70% male, 30% female. My Facebook, 60% female, 40% male. So do I have the same content? No. So I do the comments and the reactions and engagement on YouTube. My wife, who works with us in our travel stuff, she does the content reaction and stuff for the Facebook page, because it works a little bit better. Also, the kind of content we're putting out on there is going to be different. Okay, so you want to think about that. So if you're all of a sudden, it's not just like young, old, it's also what's watching, what their likes are, because that's one of the great things about Facebook. They have so much information on you that they can really tailor what you see. And so we can learn so much about them. I can find the people that are G.I. Joe fans that like to travel and want to go see different toy stores. And you can go like that. Or people that, like my mom, she loves to go to like glasses places just to see glasses around the world. Like she literally is crazy, and she's like, I want to get my glasses in France next, and the UK. You know, so you can have these things, and it'll give you all those things. But one thing I want to tell you is if you have good content, one thing people don't realize, you can repurpose your content. Think about it, you have a really good like video you made explaining how to make a clutch bag. But you know what? You can make a blog out of that. You can have the picture carousel on Instagram, same kind of thing. You've already done the work, use it again. And sometimes that's why if you ever watch on TikTok, you notice, wait, did they just chop up their podcast and put it in little videos? Yes, they did. That's repurposing content. How, any of you students here? Anybody student? Every bit a student, yeah? So have you ever had to write papers for classes? You write a paper for class, you can repurpose that. If it's something that works in what you want to do your business in, you can repurpose that, put that on LinkedIn as, oh, I wrote a paper on Gen Z shopping, right? Well, you wrote that paper for class, you repurpose it into a blog. You repurpose it into infographics. You do those things because you don't have to reinvent the wheel, because burnout of making content. How many of you get burned out making content? Yeah, it's like, oh, what else do I have to do? Sometimes, hey, you got a good stuff. Hey, big flooding, hey, we have something, we made a great video, we had a great post we did before, you can reshare it again. Because here's the great thing. Aside from YouTube, all the other channels will let you re-upload content from before. YouTube, you re-upload a video, they are not happy. They'll be like, this is doubling content, you get in trouble. So you have to like post it on your things. But if you're like Facebook, they don't care if you repost the same thing. Re-upload it again. Maybe you boost it, these kind of things. So something to kind of think about. But I will tell you, to save yourself time, that repurposing content goes a long way to give you a lot of content when you really are kind of burned out. Yes, my friend.
So you had on the last slide hashtags. I know that there's some changes on Instagram that the hashtags don't really work as well as they used to.
Yeah.
The algorithm. So
No.
is that really worth it?
So I wouldn't do 30, but I would have probably 5 to 8. And I would have like 3 very, very specific, like Urbana Eye Care or glasses, Illini glasses, whatever. Like you have 3 very targeted things, or like glasses store in Champaign, you know, like something like that, very, very specific. And you have 3 more general ones out there. That's going to be what you need to have, because you get the 30 ones, it doesn't work as much as it used to. So it's more of a target. They call it long tail and short tail. Long tail is when it's like a lot of information in there. A short tail is like glasses, optometrist, or sorry.
No, you're right on that one.
Okay, so like these things. But you might want to have the other word that I messed up and said the other time, because yeah, and people don't know. It's like, like birds. Wait, what's going on? So these kind of things, and that's what you might want to look at, because what you'll see is on social media they'll say how they found you, and they'll type in what they searched for, and you'll see, wait, they searched for this, but they found me this way, so maybe I want to use that hashtag. And so you can see that. And yes, the hashtags don't work as much as they used to, but it still is a little helpful. Like, and sometimes it's just that little bit extra that can make a difference. Okay. Now, if we look at Facebook, some stuff I want to do. On your Facebook page right now, open it up. You got a Facebook page? Got a Facebook page? Got a Facebook page? Got a Facebook page? When you open it up, can I tell what you do?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Because a lot of people think they do, and you don't.
It's a pair of glasses.
Yes. Pair of glasses. Is it for reading? Is it for? But I don't know about glaucoma checks. Haha. But here's the thing. I'm not trying to pick on you. Don't worry. But here's one of the things I really see a problem is people don't use the profile picture and the banner picture to their full effort. You want to make sure people go through, because remember, people don't read, they glance. With a glance, can they tell what you're doing? If they can't, you got a problem. Okay? So that's where it's like, hey, Serpro, it's a national brand. People know what you're doing. Very different. But it's like, you have your glass on there, great. But it's the glasses, and there's the eye checking thing, maybe like these kind of, perfect. Okay, so they can see right away. That's helpful. Now, are your hours on there? And not just, oh, they got to click about. Is it on the banner page, the banner picture? Open Monday through Sunday. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. What's on there? For influencers, they put down, hey, new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. Because people want to know, when can I find you? Where are you? If they can't find it right away, they're going to go to the next thing. All right, that's one of the biggest mistakes. They don't use Facebook to its best advantage, because that's what's probably going to come up first when they search for your business. So you got to make sure is all the information they would want to have is all right there. Don't make them scroll down. No one scrolls down. It's called, the below the fold in newspapers. No one reads the bottom half of the newspaper. No one goes to the second page of Google. Okay, so you want to kind of think about that. So Facebook, contact information, picture your products, services, store, have that all there. Customer testimonials. Ask your happy customers to write reviews. Hey, we really appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to give them a discount if you don't want to, but you want to get them that are happy, you know they've come back multiple times. Because if they've come back to shop from you twice, they're happy with your work. Because unhappy customers don't come back, but they will write a bad review. Okay, so you want those happy customers writing things, okay? Now, what will help with Facebook is the engagement, because people see you're engaging with them, you're writing back to their comments, you're writing back to their reviews. People notice that, oh, they actually care about the reviews, they're trying to do better. Or how many of you had a business and someone wrote some bogus review on you, and you knew it was a bogus review? And you're like, oh, well, I can't find you in our database, and you could do this. Like, oh, glad to help you. Contact our customer service rep, Christina Ritchie, at 2675. Here's our official stuff. Find us here. We're glad to help out. Because right there, you said, hey, if there was a real problem, we're here to help you, but we can't find you in the database. Boom. Now, here's another thing. Make sure you actually do follow up. Because I've had a problem with the Volvo dealer here in town. And they had this whole thing, we can't find your stuff on our thing. I'm like, oh, you're going to have all this. I wrote them back. I called the number. No one responded back, so I wrote another review. Yes, in case you saw the previous review, they did not respond. They did not do anything. That's there. You have to be, it's not just writing something back. It's actually doing something with the engagement and actually helping the people out, okay?
People update a negative review because we follow up with them and they go in and say that we made it right and change their original rating.
And did you ask them to do that, or did they on their own?
They did on their own after we followed up.
Yeah, and that's the thing is sometimes you might want to ask, hey, could you follow up? Like for some place I've done it, sometimes people just delete the bad review if they've made it right. So that's one of the things you want to kind of ask, because there's nothing wrong with asking. One of the biggest mistakes people make is they don't ask, like, subscribe, follow. You like our stuff, it makes a difference. Okay, so something to think about. So Facebook, really good. To really, it's their best extension, even though younger people don't use it. It still is what shows up in search. Okay. Videos, look, there's only 3 reasons people go viral, okay, or have good videos. You're either funny, you're weird, or you're useful. So what are you doing? Can you be funny all the time? Occasionally. Can you be weird a lot of the times? I don't know, you're dealing with my eyeballs. I don't want you being weird, right? So what's useful? What's the value you're bringing? You have valuable content, how you can help them. Hey, with my travel channel, like people ask, how do I buy a plane ticket? I'm like, like for me, it's such a basic thing. You forget sometimes that there's people that haven't had their basement flood before or haven't had to get glasses for the first time, right? So you want to think about this. Like how many of the students come and they're like, my mommy usually sets this up for me. Yeah. And here's the thing, you could have a whole series, how to be an adult getting your own glasses, right? Like your first experience, think about it. Think about it. You do a series of day in the life of a student getting their glasses. You pick out 5 different demographics, different students there, all of a sudden, oh, they have it there. I'm just trying to help because I feel like I've been picking on them, okay? Now some topics you can use in your videos. One thing is like the benefits of your products. Like what's it worthwhile? You go to Best Buy, they have like that list of the computer does this, the RAM, the ROM, the screen size, battery life. Are you explaining those things? Like a clutch bag, what's the good point of a clutch bag? Why would I want to have a clutch bag versus something else, right? You might want to put those things in there, but you want to make your videos short. Now, back in the day, YouTube was always 3 minutes or less. Now, it's whatever amount of time you need to deliver the value to them. That's the time for your video, okay? Now, other things you want to talk about in terms of the metrics. She left. Okay, well, I got to because she was right there. In terms of the metrics, things you want to look at, I want you to know, you have what are called hits. Hits are what, people go to your website, but also if you show up in a search engine result, that counts as a hit, even if they don't go to your website. So hits aren't really helpful, okay? Page views, that's a little bit better. That's people actually going to your website, clicking on it, looking at it, which is nice, right? But here's the thing. Do you want to just have the number? Because that means like every time you go to check it, it counts as a visit. So what you kind of want is what visitors, or what we call unique visitors, the individual IP addresses that come to your site. This is one of the ways you can easily check if somebody's doing what we call influencer fraud. You notice that, it's all the same IP address, it's all the same location, going back to the website again and again and again. It's not legit. It's grandma checking your website 1,000 times to help you out, right? So you want to make sure, hey, do we actually have that there? And that's really important. If any of you are going to use any kind of influencers, or you're going to go to any website you want to advertise on, you want to ask for these things. How many unique visitors do you have? Not just visits, but unique visitors, because then I know what they're actually doing, Okay. Other things you want to look at, impressions. If you're not sure what an impression is, if you ever go on YouTube and you see a little thumbnail and it shows up, that's an impression. Ever gone on Facebook and you see those things? Oh, your favorite Disney stars have changed so much. You'll never believe what number 7 looks like today. Anybody know those ones? And you click on it, and the first page is like number 1, and then you click on it, it opens up another page to go to number 2, and you don't even get to number 7 because you've gone through 5 pages. The reason why they do that is because the ads are based on impressions. How many new impressions, how many times does it show up? If I put it on one page and I just scroll down, it only shows up once. But if it makes you go to a new page every time, that's 5 impressions. So that's what you're looking at. But impressions are important, how far it goes through. Another thing, if you want to test and see if your ads are doing well, or your posts are doing well, your titles are doing, your thumbnails are doing well, you have what's called a click-through rate. Click-through rate is how many people click through to your page. Think about it. People search, and you come up in search, you got your title, the 20 things you need to know about social media. Did they click on it or not? It just takes a ranking of that. If it showed up 100 times, and they clicked on it 20 times, that's a 20% click-through rate. And you may think, well, what's a good click-through rate? Well, if you're on YouTube, 5%, if 5% of the people click on your video, that's actually good, right? And you're like, wait, shouldn't it be more? No, open up YouTube. How many videos pop up on your main page right there? There's like 20 to 30 that'll show up on a desktop. And you're already competing with 30 other thumbnails. You got 1% to, 5% to click. That's actually pretty good. So you want to kind of think about that. But that's a really important one to see. And this is one of the things when you go into Meta Business Dashboard, or you go to Google Analytics, you go to YouTube Analytics, those kind of things, they'll show you those. What's the click-through rate? Okay, then you'll see, wait, that one clicked on better. Why did that one click on better? Was it the picture? Was it the title? Was it the topic? Right? You kind of look at these things. That's why, you ever notice all those YouTube's videos are always like people going like this? Because they see if you have a face in it, it's more likely to get clicked on. That's why. Especially now in the world of AI-generated everything, you'll notice some of your favorite voice-only channels are now showing their faces. Have you noticed that? Why? AI. I want to prove I'm a real person, because eventually there's going to be regulation on AI content. So it's called made-for-marketing content. Okay. Other things you want to look at, we have what's called a bounce rate. This is how many people go to a website and leave right away. They bounce, as the kids would say. And that's what we want to say, if they're bouncing really quickly, that means you're not answering their question. That means they're not happy, they go someplace else. This is one of the things the algorithms look at and say, oh, if they're bouncing off this really quickly, probably your title is a clickbait and you're not answering the question. If people stay longer, they don't bounce as fast, that means, they're happy with you, this is probably a good answer, we're going to give this to more people. So something to also look at. Then you have what's called conversion rate. These are the number of people that actually convert. If you're going to ask them to do something, whether it's subscribe, like, buy something, how many convert for that? And you want to look and see, is like, hey, what videos converted people into subscribers? What videos converted people into buyers? That's what you're going to look. Which ones gave you leads? Which ones got people to call in? Then it kind of teaches you what kind of content you should make, because your gut says, oh, people want to, when my travel stuff, I started making videos in literally 5 different languages. I was teaching Germans how to speak Italian. I was teaching Italians how to speak Portuguese. I was teaching English people how to speak Spanish. Because I thought, oh, well, people are going to travel internationally. They're going to know the language of the country they're going to. Ha! Nobody does that except for the Germans. And they're like, why am I making all this language content? And when I watch it, I'm like, oh, people are going to want to know the sites they should see when they're there. Ha ha ha. No. Top 10 list nobody cared about. What they liked, 5 things you're going to love and hate about going to a destination. What you don't do when you go to Champagne. They'll watch that. They're not going, oh, cool things doing Champagne. Nobody cares. You think they'd want to have that, but the analytics will tell you what they like. And so you want to look at those analytics, it'll tell you your most popular videos, what's getting people to do that. Use that information to help you out, okay? There's all kinds of other things you can do. The things, those platforms, all of them have their own analysis tools. And you can use, you're talking about like HubSpot and Sprout Social and Hootsuite. These are scheduling platforms, but also analytical platforms that'll kind of like take all the data together and give you, hey, this is the videos you should make more of. They literally will say, you should make more videos like this. You should make more posts like this. Stop making this, okay? Because the numbers will tell you what you need to know. So that's why it's really important to know kind of what they do. So another thing I think is important when you're looking at your content, no one likes words. Does anyone here like to read? No, you don't. No, you don't. No one likes to read. Social media, no. People like pictures. Give me an infographic. Give me an infographic, not like words. Think about it. Do you like to, even Facebook now, do you just put words in? No, it gives you a background already to give some kind of visual with it. You want to have visuals. You want to have good visuals that will help you tell the story, be a storyteller. with your stuff. So make sure you're using good visuals with your things, okay? Now, we're getting near the end of time, so I want to give you some last advice. Like I said, always be okay with asking for likes and subscribers. But also one of the things you got to think about is use your network. You already have people there. It's okay to say, hey, how could we work together for other businesses? What could we do? You know, we have travel agents right here. Look, hey, we could work together. We can do something. I'm not taking your business, or maybe I am. I don't know. And you're not. It doesn't matter, because there's such a it's such a huge market in social media. You could work with anybody, and you're not really taking any of your business or their business, right? But it's helping expand out. That's why you see a lot of people do collaborations, because you might be two different travel agencies, right? But the thing is, you're like, well, you have the same people. No, you don't. You have different clients, different stuff. So just talking those different things can help out, all right? Now, other things I want to tell you, if you have like your old MySpace and Twitter feeds you don't use anymore, you can hibernate them, you can delete them, but what I'd really say is, like I said earlier, just put that one post, delete everything on there, have the one post saying, hey, we no longer use this. If you want to find us facebook.com/WaltersWorld instead of the TikTok channel, right? You want to have that, so if people do search for you on any platforms, they have a way to find you on the platforms you want them to be on, okay? Now, last thing I want to do is your homework for today is, I want you to write down the 20 most asked questions you got. What do I do when my basement floods? What's the next 19, right? How much does it cost? What kind of insurance should I get? Like, how likely is it my basement's going to flood? What are the risk factors that are out there? Do you have content answering all those questions? 20 most answered questions. Because here's the thing. You know your customers are already asking it. And if they find you're answering their question before they have to ask it, they understand that you understand me as a client. You understand my needs. So when I need something, I'm going to go to you because you understand me, right? So you need to have those 20 pieces of content. And the thing is, it's not just a video. You can do a video. You can do a carousel. If you're not sure what a carousel is, that's when there's like 5 pictures in Instagram, and you show like, it goes like, you swipe it over, right? Those kind of things. You have that. But you make the content that's going to be out there answering those questions. And you think about, where is that audience ask that question from? Because if I look at it, I have the questions that parents ask me about their kids going to college. I answer those on Facebook. Then I get the questions I get from my students, that's on TikTok, right? And so you might have the different content that goes different places, okay? And then, to make yourself a little more human, the 20 dumbest questions you get. Hey, what is the difference between an ophthalmologist and an ornithologist? Well, that is actually a bird person. And that's, but think about it. But here's the thing. If you answer it nicely in a professional way, people don't know. Here's the thing. People don't want to ask questions because they're scared they're going to look dumb. And if you make them feel bad for asking questions, it's going to make you look bad. But if you're doing it in a professional way, answering their quote-unquote dumb questions, like I wouldn't title it Dumbest Questions Answered, but like, hey, what's the difference? Well, actually, there's this and this. Like, you could have the mistake I made, you could have a serious one, but then you could have the fun one with the ornithology. Like you could do a silly one like that, and that would be a nice little fun one to put in as well. Because other businesses like yours would totally share that. Like, oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I get that question a lot. But you're answering those dumb ones, and all of a sudden it humanizes you. Wow, you're a normal person. You're not being a jerk to me because I didn't know the inside and out of your industry. Because that's the thing, is people are so scared to ask questions now. They will find everything out online before they go. We have a digital-first society. When you're going to the store, 80% of the decisions are already made to buy. Do you go to the store and wonder what you should buy? No, you've already done your research beforehand. So you want to make sure you're giving them all the answers they have. So when they go buy, it's like, oh, you answered my questions, I'm more likely to buy from you, whether it's online or in a store. Okay, so 20 most asked questions, 20 dumbest questions. All right, that's my assignment for you to do that, okay? And then I want you to check that Facebook page. Make sure you do have your days and times you're open. That's on there. Can they tell what you do when they open up that Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, anything? And also for your main website, because some people use like a Wix or you use like WordPress to make your blog, and sometimes their stock stuff doesn't do a good job of selling your business. Also, when it comes up, is your entire website just the one picture on the page? You don't want that. You want to get right down to business. Make sure they can understand right away. Adjust the size of that first picture on your website. Okay? So, what else do you want to talk about? If you have any questions about things, I just want to kind of get an overview of social media here. I know some of you are a little disappointed. I'm sorry. But at least I give you some idea of some of the important things you need to remember when it comes to social media for a small business. So, if you have any questions, I'm glad to answer them for a little while. If you don't, it's totally okay. I'm not going to be offended. I teach students all the time that never ask questions. They just sit there quietly with their arms crossed. So it's okay. So, yes?
I'm kind of wondering about like cross-posting.
Okay, so, yeah. Just in general, or?
Yeah, well, kind of like we are corporate, but we are locally owned, so we are franchised out. So we have franchises in Vermilion County, Champaign County, and then Pyatt DeWitt. And so I'm kind of wondering about like, that's 3 platforms that might have a lot of the same followers on all of our Instagram pages and Facebook pages, posting the same content, that there could be one person seeing the same post 6 times.
So with that, when you do the cross-posting, what'll happen is if you cross-post where they're all the 3 of the creators, Instagram and Facebook, they do that. So when you schedule it out, you can actually put them all 3 there, but it has to be posted. They don't let you schedule it out. It has to be like right then.
Yeah.
That's one of those things. You can do that, and so it doesn't get repeated. They all see that at one time, so it's less likely to have that seen it all over the place kind of thing.
Well, I guess
So-
like on our Facebook, so we have the 3 separate franchise
Yeah.
pages.
Okay, yeah. I would definitely have the 3 different franchise pages for sure.
Yeah, so do you recommend posting the same things in all 3 pages?
I would do a combination of the cross-posting.
Okay.
Like if there's one thing that's going to be for everybody, like, hey, we're going to cross, like especially evergreen content, so they're always going to look for like, what happens to your basement floods? I'd cross-post
Yeah.
that so they find it. But then I would have it like 50-50
Okay.
for that.
Okay.
So, no problem. What else? Any other questions, concerns, comments? No? Yes!
I also love following like travel content and stuff like that. And so I guess I'm curious as to like if you take the approach of like, this is my niche, this is what makes me stand out in like the travel world amongst all other travel accounts. Or
Yes.
how is, like, I'm curious your take on that.
So you have, because here's the thing, if you're doing the same thing as everybody else, does anybody like to go to McDonald's too? If you want McDonald's, where do you go? McDonald's. If you're just the same thing again and again, people usually go to the original. So you have to have your own niche. And that's one of the things, like I'll talk about this in some of my other stuff, is you have to have your general topic travel, but what is your niche? What is your voice that makes you unique? Because if you're just the same person saying the same thing, here are the 10 things to see in Spain, here's the 10 things to see in Spain, here's the 10 most common, scams in Paris, there's 4,000 videos doing the same thing. But why do some get 1 million and some get nothing? Because usually they have their own take on it, their own version of it. For me, I'm like, look, I'm an honest travel guy, all about honesty. I've gone to these places. I don't talk about places I don't go to, so people know when I'm talking to them, there's no sellout, there's no nothing. They're like, hey, you don't have the highest quality like production value, but you have the highest quality in terms of honesty and actual experience. And I'll say I'm 48 years old. I've been doing this since I was in my teens. Versus someone that's on their study abroad trip and like, yeah, I went to 3 countries this week. And they're like, so you have your niche. That's really important. And when you have your niche, you have your own voice for it. And that's one big thing for influencers. If they don't have their own voice in there, they're never going to be successful. Because I'll go watch someone else that has much more of a powerful voice. That's why you'll see, some people are like, oh, they scream a lot in sports stuff. But the screamer, you got Stephen A. Smith. Like, you can't be the screamer. You got to have something else because you're just another screaming voice. You got to have some other, I'm the screaming voice. I'm the screaming voice that but I'm the one that likes LeBron James. He's the GOAT versus and that's like if you look at Nick Wright, who's on Fox Sports. He's all about LeBron James is the GOAT. That was his big claim to fame. That's what he went for, right? And so you have your own little takes on it, but you have to have your own voice because otherwise you're the same thing. Yet another pretty person in a bikini or some dude showing off his abs talking about a place. Yeah, there's lots of nice abs, but I need something more. Like I remember when I first started out, people were like, why would anybody watch a fat, bald guy talk about travel when they can watch some beautiful woman in a bikini? Well, my niche was honest travel advice and not just regurgitating stuff in a bikini. So that's why you'll see usually influencers get about a 3-year run and they disappear because they don't have their own niche. So, yes?
There's content that I've wanted to make and I want to develop that voice.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. What's that? What?
There's content that I want to make,
Uh-huh.
but I've been so cautious to get started because I don't feel like my voice is started. So
Just make the content. Biggest mistake people make is they I'm going to put up when I have the perfect video. Don't. Just make videos. Just make content because you know what? Your first video, it's going to suck. Don't worry. Your second video, it's going to suck too, but a little bit less. And so you learn from what you do and you start making content. And that's what all the big YouTubers will tell you. Just start making videos. Because I'll have students, they'll come talk to me like, I want to start a YouTube channel. I want to do this. I'm like, okay. And then 6 months later, I'll see them like, did you start? Well, I'm trying to get that perfect first video. Look, your first video, no one's going to watch it. And be okay with that. It takes time to grow the social media accounts. So don't wait. Just start making stuff. If you have like an idea for this perfect, greatest video ever, okay, work towards that, but make other content on your way. Because then you learn like, oh, well, if I want to film, then I know if I need a mic. And where do I put that mic? Because if I have a mic right here, then all of a sudden all my sound is really bad. But then if I have it here, you can't hear what I have. Then you know, oh, I got to find the right spot. And that's the thing you learn over time, right? So I would say just start making content. Sorry, I didn't want to stop you, but I know that's one of the big
Makes
things.
sense to start with an alternate, like a niche platform. Red Note or something.
If you want to, you can.
Something that nobody that you know, kind of out of your general network.
Yeah. Well, you can do that because here's the thing: is like I said, each of those different platforms for different things. So if it's like, hey, we want to have like news right now. It's like a Twitter X is going to be better for you than a Facebook or a YouTube for sure, right? So you kind of think about those ways. Or if it's like, if I'm doing product reviews, man, I got to have the visuals. I got to have the talk. I got to have like show the people the stuff. Then the YouTube's going to be better. So like what you want to make your content in is going to dictate which platform you should probably start off on. But now they make it so easy. You make content for one, you can put them all of them. That's why people have the joke. Oh, I'm a true social media person. I watch the TikToks 2 weeks later on Instagram. Like so those things come up. But I honestly just make the content because you're going to get better at it as you go.
Along those lines,
Yeah.
is there any helpful people, platforms, videos, somewhere?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Like, help me make this really scary jump. Into
Okay,
making
so
videos and-
one of my favorite ones is Nick Nimmin. Nick Nimmin on YouTube. Daryl Eves on YouTube. I actually have a video on my Professor Walter channel, like the best YouTubers to watch to learn how to do YouTube. But there's a lot out there. One thing I will say is Instagram, there's a lot of people that do the exact same thing. There's no one that's really controlled the niche because they're all being the repetitive ones. So there's none I really can think of because they all say the same thing. And that's what you don't want to be. You want to have your niche. So Nick Nimmin, he's really good.
Like N-E-M-E-N?
Nick, and I say then Nimmin, Nick Nimmin. And that's one of the things I would look up, like just look best YouTube coaches, and they'll pop up there. There's best Twitter coaches, they'll pop up, because people write reviews on who they recommend and go through and see which ones really resonate with you. Because there's one, Ed in Film Booth, he does a great job, but he's not for everybody. There's an Irish guy who does a fantastic work for YouTube, but he's not for everybody. So it really depends what really works for you. But Nick is one I recommend a lot. I know him too, so because the network.
As a sarcastic comment, I guess, how do people who have full-time jobs and kids and dogs and laundry and dishes and don't have a social media team because they're not corporate, how do you even get into this, let alone handle it halfway well?
Okay, so first step, realize you don't have to post every day. That's the biggest thing. Like a lot of people feel like if you go on Instagram, they're going to tell you, if you want to grow, you've got to post 3 to 5 times a day for 90 days straight. Take our Instagram challenge. I see this crap all the time. It's not realistic. I mean, I do travel, and there's literally billions of places you could go around the world. But dude, you can't make good content 5 posts a day. It doesn't work. Yeah, but the thing is, they're going to sell you that because they want to sell their course. What I would recommend is realize, hey, what can I make? Be realistic. But that's why maybe you're not doing stuff every day or every week. Maybe you just do twice a week. Or, you know what, we upload the first Friday and the last Thursday of the month, whatever. You pick those things that you can do. Okay, and so sometimes you're making, so my friend here who was like, I want to start making content. You're like, but I won't have enough content to put out. Maybe you make a few of the videos, and once you have enough I got 8 videos backlog. Okay, now I'm going to have it so it's coming out once a week. So that's 2 months of content I have out there. Because you know how it is. It's May. I like how they call it May-cember. It's horrible. Like I had a kid that so this was our weekend. So Thursday work from 7 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. And then Friday, graduation for my high school kids. So we had all that fun stuff and doing all those things. Saturday, wedding and graduation party. Sunday, all the family came over for Mother's Day. And I said to make content. It's like, no, I don't. Because I planned it out. I do what's called batch content creation. I'll make a bunch of videos at one time. And then I can take a couple months off because literally it's every Wednesday and Saturday. So I just have 8 videos. That's a whole month. And so you kind of start that way. But I know I can make that much content. When I tried to do 3, my kids were little, I couldn't do it. And so you plan out what works for you because social media doesn't care. All they care is that you're consistent. So if it is like every other week, then it's every other week and you're good to go. They'll be happy with that. So you have that one there. Another thing is I don't sleep a lot. and that's a tough one. Like I'm very big with it, but also you can find people that can help you with it. Like Fiverr is a good thing to find really cheap people to help you make content. Like, hey, there's some stuff I really like. There's tools out there that can help you. How many times you saw people make the action figure version of themselves lately, like the latest trend? That's a ChatGPT prompt. You write it and they're like, hey, this is me. Here's a picture of me. Here's some stuff I like. Make that for me. And I'll make it for you.
I feel like I don't make enough money to pay somebody to help me. But maybe if I paid somebody to help me, I'd make enough money.
I know. And I'm not going to lie to you, it took me 10 years to hire editors. I made over 2,000 videos of my own editing, like 6 hours per video. And then I finally was okay to give editors to start like just doing a little bit of work. And over time I realized, wait, they're getting like 90% of what I was doing, and so much time got freed up, then it was worth it for me, but it took me time. I started with one editor, and they were doing like one video a week. So that's 4, so half my videos a month was taken care of. And then now I have 6 to make the content for me. But it's saying it took time, and then you're right. It's like, because I was the same thing. I don't know if I want to spend the money on this. Is it worth it? But if I do that, then I can do other things better. And that's what it takes time with. So that's what I would say is really figure out a content like schedule that you can maintain, and realize after a year or two, if you think about it, you do it for 1 year, you're doing it every other week, that's 26 pieces of content. 2 years, that's 52 pieces of content. 3 years, you're at 70 some. Wow. All of a sudden, after 4 years of just making content a little bit on the side, you have just once every 2 weeks, you've got over 100 things. And people look at, wow, you've got 100 videos, you got 100 really good posts. It's going to go a long way. But that's the thing, it's like a lot of people think that like social media is instantaneous fame. It is not. It took me like 15 years to get 1 million subscribers, right? Like people think it's like, I'll have a viral hit and I'll go great. No, a viral video gives you 1 or 2 days, and that's it. And if it's a vertical video, you get 40 million views, you get $400. Ain't worth it. Yeah, so it's like if it's a horizontal video on YouTube, you're making $100,000. So it really depends on what kind of content and where you're putting it. But that's my biggest advice to you is find a right amount that you can do, and don't think you have to do every day. So hope that helps. Does that help?
Yeah,
A little bit?
It's just overwhelming with
It is.
real life and then trying to do a side
Oh.
hustle and.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. Because I teach full time at U of I, and then I actually run 5 YouTube channels, and then I do public speaking. I do all kinds of the training stuff, corporate training. So it's just finding that right balance to do it what works for you. And sometimes it takes time to add the other ones on, because I didn't get to 5 channels until I started hiring editors, because then I had time to do other creations. So he's had his hand up like 7 times. I'm sorry.
The question, do you see social media influence eroding with the advent of things like Gemini, Copilot, ChatGPT? Because now when I use Google, the first thing I get is not a page rank. It is something from Gemini that's trying to summarize all the page ranks.
Yes, and this is when I was talking about the 90% drop in channel traffic to my friends that do travel blogs. It's because of things like that. It already gets summarized, and I'm not going to lie to you, the Gemini stuff isn't that good, but it's good enough. And for people that don't know, it's good enough. I don't need to go look at blogs and stuff, and it's going to change how things. But you have to remember, Gemini has to get its information from somewhere, and I'm going to guess there might be some legal processes coming that they have to like pay back, because you're taking other people's intellectual property to make these things, which is kind of funny because YouTube actually has a little button, oh, can we use your videos to train AI? You're like, And there is going to be an impact for it, but I think there's going to be some regulation with it too. But definitely with that, and that's why, like I was saying, you're seeing a lot of these faceless channels, they all have the same voice because it's all AI. And there's literally, there's farms, they call them farms, and they literally farm out the content. And so that's why you're seeing people that have they've done faceless channels for years, now they're showing their face. Look, I'm not AI, I'm a real person, here I am. So it's a really interesting time with the AI stuff, because especially now with the video and the visuals now can be so real, you can't tell. Like think about it, a year ago, 2 years ago, what AI was making versus now. Like now sometimes they still mess up like the 6 finger, but damn, it's getting tough. And so that's where it's going to be. Like YouTube, you have to click, this was AI generated, or there's AI generated content in this video. And right now, nobody gets in trouble for it, but eventually there's going to be enough pushback that there's going to be something there. But yes, it is going to impact it a lot. And that's why some companies like, why should I pay an influencer to do something when I can have an AI do it for me? So, because you could, that's not just AI, you can go on Fiverr and get actors to tell people whatever you want. So it's interesting. Any other questions? Yes?
Is there a page or an app or something like that where you can go to and see the analytics of your competitors? Oh
yeah, there's plenty of them out there. There's some that want you to buy it, but you can just go on Google, like literally Google Analytics. You can actually go and check people out. If you ever want to see an Instagram channel or a public Instagram channel, YouTube channel, Social Blade will tell you their views, random amount, how much number they have, their biggest videos. You can go that way. If you go on Google Analytics, it'll literally tell you who your competition is, what their biggest videos are, what kind of content, because they're now trying to use the AI and all these things to help you make content based off your content. So they're doing the analytics, the industry analytics for you and the research for you to give you stuff, because you have to understand, Google, Facebook, YouTube, they all want people to stay on their platform, so they want to help you make content, because how does Google make money? It's ad revenue. It's not, they don't make content, they share content. So they need you or me to make the content for them. So they want you to do better content so people stay on YouTube and don't go to TikTok or Instagram. So, all right. Yes?
Do you teach courses over the summer? Or do you
Uh,
teach online classes or anything?
No, I do not. I teach face-to-face courses in social media, strategic marketing, principles of marketing. I do the intro course, and then I take students abroad for marketing courses. So, but if you go to ProfessorWalters.com or you go to Professor Walters on YouTube, all my class videos for my advanced marketing management and my principles of marketing course, they're all online. So you can actually go through like chapter 1, chapter 2, and watch the videos. There's like 400 videos, so you can have an entire course right there. And YouTube actually has a new course platform that I'm putting together, so you can literally go on and it'll be ready, I think, next week or the week after. We'll have it all set up, and you can just literally go through it that way.
What if I wanted to go abroad with you?
Are you a student at the U of I?
I am.
Have you taken BADM 320, Principles of Marketing yet?
I'm not a marketing.
You don't have to be when it's a study abroad program because now they're open to everybody. So next summer, I'll probably be doing one in Paris and Lisbon. So look for that on Quad Day.
Portuguese, agora Lisbon.
Ah, muito bem. Falamos português, é boa cidade. My youngest son was born there, actually. So
Yeah?
good time, yeah, cool.
Legal. Okay.
Muito legal, Brasil. Nice. Okay, well, hold on, we get in the back. Yes, if you,
Yeah, if you want to put your email address on the sheet back there and just mark the box that you want the slides, have stuff.
these beautiful slides. It's a PDF format, not Google Docs, so you don't have to worry about permissions and anything. Last question.
Would you just recommend for like educational purposes, like those, like Coursera and Google courses? on
Yes.
social media?
Yes, I would say those have gotten really good, and they're really short now because they've like when they first started out, they were super huge. Like it was an investment in your time and energy to do it, and now they've broke. Okay, because they've broken them down, especially like Google ones or HubSpot has good ones. Hootsuite has training stuff. You can get their certificates too. Also good for your resumes. You can get those. American Marketing Association does it too, and you get your little like Google search, Google Analytics, and they'll train this stuff up, and they literally go from like you don't know anything to like more advanced level ones. So I would definitely recommend those for stuff.
Like a certificate per like
Yes.
one, so you don't have to do all of them. You want to like.
Exactly. You can. It's the stackable nature of it. So you can pick the ones that are right for you, especially for your careers. If you want to do something like that, you can take those. And that looks really good because it's like, look, you don't necessarily have to go to college. Okay, I'm saying that as a professor. You don't have to go to college. If there's skills, there's skills you can learn to help with your business. So you don't have to get a business degree to learn the business stuff you need to have. So there's all kinds of stuff out there now. Coursera's got courses, but there's all kinds of smaller ones you might look at. If you have an association that your business is a part of, like the American Dental Association, that's not you, but the American Dental Association, I've done trainings for them, and they have things that are out there to teach people to how to run their business better, how to run their dental office better. Like there's things like that can help out. So I'm going to guess there's probably stuff in your industry too. So, all right. Well, I appreciate you all coming out tonight. I don't know if there's any cookies left, but you get some coffee if you don't want to sleep tonight and have a little caffeine shot before you go. But I want to say thank you to the Champaign Public Library for yet another wonderful visit. And I appreciate your help, and thank you everybody for coming out, and have a great day. You're welcome.